Yes, welcome to another video. I'm Lewis. Above me is Jordan. Another transfer roundup coming for you. We've not done one for a while because we've been so bombed out with, obviously, you know, it's a game every 3 days, isn't it? So we've not been able to do one. But we are back now, and there's been quite a lot of rumours, actually. We've been looking through to see what sort of rumours have been being made by these journalists, and there are quite a lot, to be fair, so we're going to go through these now. Before we do, guys, let's set a like target. Let's go for 1,000 likes, guys, so make sure you smash a thumbs up on the video if you do enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're within 100 subscribers of 30,000, so are you going to be the 30,000 subscriber, innit? Let us know in the comment section below if it's you. Right, okay, let's get into it first. As always, outgoings, and got a bit of bad news, Bray. A bit of bad news. This played on my heartstrings, yeah. It pulled on my heartstrings. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, currently on loan at Blackburn Rovers from Manchester City. I really, really rate this guy. I think he's going to be a future star. He's come out, though. He's spoken to Jacob Crook and said, I've played this many games now for Blackburn and I can't just go back to City and train. That's not what I want. I want to play. My ultimate goal is to play for Man City, but if I can't play the amount of games that I want, then I'm open to going out and playing games elsewhere. So obviously he's talking about his future now, because he's getting to that point where, like he said, he doesn't want to just come back to City and train, you know what I mean? He wants to be playing competitive football, which he's doing at Blackburn.
I think because he's gone to Blackburn, he's had a taste of it, innit? He's had a taste of the starting lineup, and it's going to be very hard for him. In his head, he might feel it as a back step going back to City and training, whereas we know that it has worked with Phil Foden for him to stay. However, I do feel like Phil Foden is a generational talent, innit? Harwood-Bellis, I do think, is a future star. However, I think game time is ultimately what he needs, and it's what he wants in his head. And if he comes back to City, I don't think his head's going to be in it, because, like I said, he'll feel like it's a backstep, because he'll be sat there thinking, or trading, thinking, I was playing week in, week out last season.
Yeah, at a good level. Yeah.
At a good level, and I'm now sat here like on the bench again, or not even on the bench, not making the bench. But it's definitely one to keep your eye on. I think the way he says that he's open to going out and playing games makes me feel like maybe loans he's on about, maybe not like I want to bum Man City in it in a bit. But you know what I mean? You never know with these situations. Look at Adebayo, he went to Fulham, innit? I didn't think he'd leave, and he left very cheap. So not know the situation, innit? But hopefully he stays. This is heartstrings one, isn't it? These are the ones that you want to stay. You want to try and keep hold of, but it's difficult because we can't offer game time.
It is, that is the problem. Sergio Aguero, we all know he's leaving, so not many shocks here. However, his representatives are apparently talking with Barcelona. They reckon he's, his odds on going there. He will have to take a pay cut, though, to make the deal work. Obviously, we all know Barcelona have zero money available. And Sergio Aguero is coming to the end of his career, with his injuries, his fitness. He isn't as sharp as he used to be. I want Sergio Aguero to go to Barcelona. I don't want to see Sergio Aguero rot in some dead team in the last couple of years of his career. I want him to go somewhere and score goals and enjoy his football, because he's a legend for our football club, and I want him to enjoy himself and play good football. So I want him to go to Barcelona. I hope he can get this deal. Not much to be said. I think it will happen, but he is apparently going to have to take a bit of a pay cut, which is to be expected. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
I think at that stage of his career, he's expected that he's going to take a pay cut. I do want him to smash it. I hope he goes and starts absolutely slamming it for Barcelona. And plus, he's playing with his best mate Messi as well. So it's like a happy ending to his career. That.
Yeah.
Moving on to incomings.
Contract news, Bray. Contract
news first. Yes, Phil Foden. Contract news. This is good as well. Obviously, Phil Foden contract news. It's thought on the verge of signing a new City contract to take him into the 6 figures a week wage bracket. 6 figures a week wage bracket.
Indeed, yeah.
So like 100k?
100k, 200k, 300k, £999,999. Who knows how much it's going to be?
I want this. Bro, get this done. This has to be on the priority list. Phil Foden is proving that he's important, and he plays every single important game for our club, and he shows he makes a difference, even in the big games against PSG, against Dortmund. This guy is a big time player. He's one of the best players in our squad, which is crazy because he's so young, but get that contract signed rapid.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably in the top 6 players for our football club right now, so we do have to give him a contract. I like it to be a long term, so 6 figures. I'd like it to be like a 6-year deal. That would be really nice.
That would be good.
Show the commitment to him, and obviously, I don't see any issues so long as we're not proper stingy with the cash and we offer him what he's worth, which is probably a lot. Then hopefully we can get the deal done. But that is some real positive news. Moving on to actual incomings now. We've got Declan Rice has been in the news. Apparently, City are fearing that they might not be able to get Declan Rice because David Moyes and West Ham board reckoned he's worth over £100 million. City are obviously not willing to go that high, especially given the fact that if they spend that money, you know what I mean, he's not going to be guaranteed game time with Rodri. Obviously, Rodri, we spent a bit of cash on him as well. So, yeah, I don't see this one happening, but I don't see Rice leaving West Ham if they're going to be thinking they're going to get 100 million. That is just absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
I was literally just about to say as well, who's going to pay £100 million for Declan Rice? I think as well, the centre mid market seems a bit saturated at the moment. There's got quite a lot of, like, you know what I mean, people coming through and stuff. So I think pricing him at 100 mil, that's going to be difficult for them to try and get a sale with that. I don't think anyone's going to go with that.
No, it is really. In fact, bro, speaking of centre mids, another centre mid that we've been linked with, Bissouma.
Oh, Bissouma. This guy actually looks really good.
A lot of people, by the way, in our comment section for a long time have been saying we should be going in for Bissouma. You know who you are. So yeah, fair enough, because the links are now starting to happen.
Yeah, they are popping up because apparently he said that he wants to leave. I think basically the train started going, innit? He started hearing wind of it, of all this stuff coming out. So then he's gone, you know what? Yeah. These guys are in for me. And I'm going to get off.
I think he's too good for Brighton as well. You know, I've not seen him that much, but whenever I have seen him play, he has actually really, really impressed me. Apparently, he can be available for around £40 million as well. He's only 24, Premier League experience, looks really, really good. You know, this could be a potential move because obviously we don't know what's happening with Fernandinho. So if we sign in a centre mid, we kind of assuming that Fernandinho's going to be, you know, going to leave, right? Yeah. Obviously, if Fernandinho does get a 1 year extension, that's a completely separate argument. Let us know in the comments section below if you think we should give him a deal. But obviously, if he does sign a deal, we're not going to sign a centre mid. If he doesn't sign a deal, we're going to have to sign a centre mid, one would assume, unless you drop Gundogan back into the 6. However, you really don't have a pacey sort of Fernandinho type 2 play, you know what I mean? You basically got like 2 static guys. Bissouma, in my opinion, bro, it ticks all the boxes. Not too expensive, Premier League experience, young, so you've got potential for growth in his game. He looks good on the ball. He's not going to come in and demand to play every single game.
He's also a different kind of style to Rodri.
Different style.
It offers you a bit of diversity in the team.
I think this one could have legs. And if it doesn't have legs, I think we'll go for someone like him. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Zakaria, that's the one who we've been linked with a lot. Yeah. Cheap. You know what I mean? Different to Rodri. He's not going to come in and demand stuff. He's young. He can grow. You know, I think we're going to go for someone like this. It might not be Bissouma. It might not be Zakaria. It could be either of them. But I think it's going to be someone like that. But this bro, I genuinely think this is something to keep our eye on. 100%.
I do. I think it's got legs. Like I say, it's got legs. Moving on to some kind of CFG signings then.
Yeah, man.
First up, we got Mateo Fernandez. I call them CFG signings because I primarily do think when we sign these like 16, 17, 18-year-olds, you know what I mean? Usually they are just CFG signings. They kind of get shipped through the club. Yeah. Apparently, we're leading the race for Espanyol striker. He qualifies to play for both Spain and England. You see, Man City is a player they can bring through as he's physically strong and technically good. So that kind of like... That shows that they're looking, this kind of new way that we're going, the new strikers that we're going for, physically strong strikers. It seems like that's not just at the first team level, it's going throughout the club that we want to get someone like this kind of style of player. And then the other CFG signing that we're going for is Giovanni, which is the CFG says Palmeiras winger Giovanni willing to spend 10 mil. However, the Brazilian side want 20 mil plus 5 million performance bonuses for 17-year-old who scored over 100 goals for Palmeiras in the youth ranks. Like I say, these players, I don't know. I have no idea about them. Just this is just us kind of letting you know this is happening in the background, isn't it?
Pretty weird if you did know about them, bro. Given the fact they're 17.
17 years old. Imagine. Yo, to be fair though, bro, the people in our comments, bro, will be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen him play. Sick." Nah. I'm just like, what?
To be fair, no, you're absolutely right. The CFG signings, they don't cost us that much money, and who knows? I mean, we've signed that Cakey, haven't we? And he looks absolutely mint.
He looks mint.
Who knows? We'll just have to see, cross our fingers and see what happens with that. Right, to finish off, we've got a couple strikers, including some shock transfer news.
Ooh, boy.
ESPN, are reporting that Chelsea and Man City have emerged as contenders for Robert Lewandowski, and this is because, right, he's not decided. Robert Lewandowski's coming to the end of his deal, right? He's like, what do I do now? Do I stay at Bayern for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? Or do Do I just, he's won everything there. He doesn't need to stay there, or does he go? And apparently, he's having thoughts about whether he should leave. And in addition to that, the new Bayern Munich manager, does he really want a striker who's only going to be there for a year or so, or does he want to start the rebuild? Like, what's his game? So there's rumours that he could be available for £60 million. Now he's in his 30s. I think he's 33 or something.
Yeah.
So he's pretty old in terms of footballing age, but £60 million is going to guarantee you goals for probably a year or 2 years. I mean, you only have to look across the road at Giovanni, who's scoring goals for United, and he's about the same age. Could this be a potential deal? If we get locked out of a deal for, say, someone like Haaland or Kane, because simply they're too expensive and we can't afford them, what do we do? Do we double down on a false nine? Or do we go and get a second-rate striker? Or do we go and get a mint striker who's coming to the end of his career? You got to pay a little bit of cash. It's not mega money, £60 million these days. Still quite a lot, though, for a 33-year-old. But he's going to guarantee you goals. I don't know about this one. It's come out of the blue. It's a shock transfer rumour. However, I see it. If City are going for Haaland, bro, or Kane, and we just simply can't afford the deal for whatever reason, leave it for Kane not playing ball, or Dortmund refusing to sell, and we're in a situation where we need goals desperately.
Yeah.
What do we do? You know what I mean? We could come back for Haaland or Kane in a year or two or whatever, but right now we need a player. This could work. Look, do I think it's going to happen, Brett? I don't think it's going to happen, but it's interesting, and I do think we should see what happens with this deal, bro.
Yeah, I think the one to keep your eye on, especially, I think obviously he needs to decide his future, and he'll probably announce something towards in the next couple of months or whatever. I think he'll give it a bit of time, because he might think, one last big payday, something like that, and he might want to go spend it somewhere else in a league that he's not obviously been in before.
That's a question to ask.
And one thing to think is, Pep and Lewandowski had a great relationship.
Exactly,
Pep loved Lewandowski. I think that's one of his favourite players that he's worked with, actually. So I think, do you know what I mean? That could be a thing. Pep could be looking at it going, I've got another 2 years
another tick in the box, bro.
Yeah, I've got another 2 years here. Why don't I spend it with another 2 years with Lewandowski? But
who knows?
I think other transfers need to break down first for that one to happen. But it's a very, very good backup, because he will bag.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you don't go for him, so say we can't get Haaland, we can't get Kane, they're too expensive.
Yeah.
They look at Lewandowski and go, you know what? He's simply too old. We're kind of looking at the tier below Haaland and Kane. Well, I think you've got a very good option in Romelu Lukaku. When he was first linked with Man City, I was a bit like, nah, I don't want this guy, But I think I was so hyped on, like, Haaland, basically, or Kane, that I kind of was like, turn my nose down a little bit at Lukaku. Yes, I didn't really want him. However, you know what I mean? The more I think about it, the more that this could be a decent, he scores goals. And that's all that matters, really. At the end of the day, he scores goals. Now, apparently Romelu Lukaku isn't really interested in leaving Inter Milan. He's pretty happy there. He's pretty chill. However, Inter Milan apparently have some sort of financial issues. I'm not sure how serious they are. I don't think they're mega serious, but, equally, things can spiral out of control pretty rapid these days with the amount of money that's involved. So, if they are having issues and City go in there with a 70, 80 million pound, offer or whatever, it could happen. The thing that I don't get about this, Brit, is we're seeing figures for, like, Kane and Haaland for, like, 120 million.
Yeah.
I think it's going to cost you at least 80 million to get Lukaku out of Inter Milan. I think is it worth not just paying the extra 40 million and getting Haaland, who you could have at your football club for the next 15 years, or Kane, you could have him for the next 5 or 6 years, but he's got a bag. He's mint,
proven. Yeah.
Like, it's a very, very interesting one. I think if you can get Lukaku for around the 60 to 70 million pound deal, maybe it's worth it. But if you start going over that towards the 80 and the 85, 90 million, I don't see the point. I'd just literally go and slam the cash on Haaland.
I think if you're going, like you say, if you're going around the 80, 90 million mark, you may as well just pay the Haaland transfer fee. Yeah. I just think it's, and obviously it's easy for us to just be throwing about this cash,
big cash.
You know what I mean? Big cash, isn't it? 40 mil we're throwing about as if it's nothing, isn't it? Like the difference between 90 and
isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just throw the extra 40 million pounds, you know what I mean? It's only 40 mil.
Yeah, so it is easy for us to just say that. However, I am in that boat of if it was that easy and simple as the way that we're making it, I would rather just spend the 130 whatever it is on Haaland than the 90.
Definitely not that simple. In our minds, bro. In our minds, it's that simple. It's definitely not that simple.
Just ain't it. But like I say, Lukaku's a good option. He's a good option. I don't see him. I can see why he wouldn't want to leave Inter. He didn't have a good time at United. He went to Inter and he's smashing the goals in, and they've just won the league. Yeah. So for me, I think he's going to stay. I do think he's going to stay.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, guys, we've got to sign someone, right?
Yeah, so someone
on this list, someone on this list, or someone who we're talking about, has to be the guy coming in, right? So when we mention these strikers, you can sit there behind the PC going, what are you talking about this for? Because we're not going to sign him. But we've got to sign someone. We're losing Sergio Aguero. What are you saying? We're going to have just Gabby Jesus as our only striker? Like, nah, we've got to sign a striker. So
nah, bro, I know what it is.
What is it, bro?
Danny Ings, bro. Everyone just knows Danny Ings is destined to come to Manchester City.
I mean, people say in our comments, some people say that they'd have Danny Ings, but I don't know, guys. Let us know in the comment section below. Who do you think we should go for? I don't know, man. I mean, I do know it's Haaland, isn't it? But like, if we can't get Haaland, who do you go for? I don't know, guys.
If not him, then who?
Yeah. Right, okay, we'll leave it there. Pretty mad. Well, like I say, not done one of these for ages, just given the sheer amount of games. We've got a podcast coming for you this week, guys, so stay tuned. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you give it a thumbs up. 1,000 is the target. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Are we at 30k yet? I don't know. By the time you're watching it, we could be. Let us know, innit? Yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. See you in a bit.